do we?
I think we jump right to it. Epstein last night not killing himself, because that's what I want to talk about. I tried to go on Flow Grappling this morning and find the match.
Did
see
you?
if it was on there. I didn't. Because it was, 4 or 5 hours. But I couldn't remember which match it was.
I'll have to timestamp it, but if you go to Flow Grappling, you watch the NFC BJJ event from yesterday, which was the 7th.
It was the NFC BJJ 6.
What was the date?
February 8th.
It's February 8th. Check it out. About midway through. I think it's black belts are going on at the moment. And just a quiet moment in the crowd, kind of a hush. And out comes the big announcement. Epstein did not kill himself. And it got recorded, and it was hilarious. And I absolutely love it.
That might have been the best $100 you ever spent.
Yeah, so I threw it out there as a joke. Like, I got $100. Anybody during this day, during this downtime says it. And I got one serious look at. He's like, "Are you for real?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, I'm for real." And he said, so he's like, "Oh, you got fuck you money like that?" And I really don't. But what was great is, you guys know, like when if you have Cash App or a Venmo or whatever, and somebody sends you money, like there's an extra step to put it in your bank account.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll just leave it in there, and then what happens is if you don't remember about it or whatever, it becomes like money that you found in your laundry or whatever, right? So I had like 100 and some change in there, so it really did feel like fuck you money. It felt like just free money. I was like, hell yeah, I'll send you that. It doesn't even affect me personally. It's money that I never really deposited into my account. Didn't actually feel like it belonged to me. So it was an easy saying. He has his phone out to show me his Venmo. I send it to him. He sees the confirmed. He goes, okay. And then just waits. And as soon as it hit the right time, fucking didn't disappoint, man.
That makes it so much better that he sat and just waited for the right time.
Yeah, because we were like, hold on, hang on. Because they were going for a submission at the time, I think. So it was like, hey, crowds, you hear a little more coaching, a little more excitement. So like, hold on, wait till it dulls down again. And sure enough, it did. And he delivered, and it was awesome.
He even got a subtle applause from the ref. Like, ref just turned over.
Yep, shout out to T. Driscoll out of Creighton MMA, man. That was a blast. So that was really cool. And that's, we like to have fun here. Yeah. It was one of those moments. It was fun.
Yeah,
but
so I'm really hoping that made the broadcast.
Me too. No way it didn't get picked. Well, hold on. It should have gotten picked up by audio.
Nailed it.
He barked it loud. The announcers are across the mat. We were third row or second row, so
they must have heard it.
It should have gotten picked up on them, and it was during a dead time. So
yeah,
I need to find that. You're right. I need to find the footage of that.
Yeah,
that'd be great. NFC BJJ event was just really good. They are putting together solid events. Atlanta is a hub of high level jiu-jitsu, and it's starting to get a name for itself more and more. So, and what better group to host it than NFC, who's really blown up the MMA scene in Atlanta as well. So, Dave Oblas has his shit together, man.
Yeah, it's been great what they've been doing, and the matchups that they're making. Like pretty much all of them were fun. There's a couple old guy matches that were a little old guy pace, but it was still like good matches.
Yeah, Clay is really putting together. He's becoming like how Jesse Wable's considered the matchmaker of MMA. Like the guy's killing it with that. Clay is just right off the bat just hit the ground running on jiu-jitsu matchups, matchmaker.
He looked good in his match too.
And he's not to mention he's a fucking beast on the mats. What I notice is, this isn't necessarily groundbreaking opinion, but Nogi is just so much more exciting to watch.
Hell yeah.
You end up with these two end spectrums. Like, white belt is kind of boring to watch. That's why you don't get it often, because they just either stalemate or it's just big mistakes. But then you get like brown and black belt sometimes becomes not so fun to watch because they almost stalemate each other.
Yeah.
They can be fun, and there are a lot of there's little detail fun about it, but not big detail fun. Like when you're thinking about audiences and your general audience appeal. But you get purples and blues and some browns, and you especially put them in no-gi, you're getting some excitement out of that. Especially these youngsters that are fucking like just looking to wow some folks, and it's fun. So I enjoy it. It's not always fundamentals, and I get that. We can get snobby about it. They're not technical or whatever, but you got to also entertain, right? It's the fucking the gladiator rule, right? Where he's like, well, I killed all the guys. That's it. It's like, no, you have to win the crowd also, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And so part of that is, it's a hybrid that all competitors struggle with, especially fighters, and jiu-jitsu is part of that world, right? That you're like, well, I want to win, but I also want to win the crowd, and if you focus too much on one, you're likely going to lose the other.
Right.
And it's a tough battle to make. But when you get the guys that find that balance, like your Logan Santos guys, and even though he necessarily didn't win last night, he faced like a world champion black belt, and he just got his brown. I think it's significant. Yeah. So there are guys that can do it, and when they do it, that they're special. So you need to I think there's people that stand out.
Yeah.
I think Daniel's become that as well.
Yeah.
Daniel Smith trains here at SBG. He always excites because his technique is like fun to watch.
Yeah.
And he's smooth and he does the like water thing, but he wins too. So it's you got to have both. That hybrid is a really tough thing to find.
For sure. But yeah, no, it was a whole night of good matches. Part of me, I think, just wishes that they would do more the no-gi, but then there were some really fun gi matches like what was his name? Cheese Wheel.
Will
Edmondson.
Yep.
Will, yeah.
Will Edmondson, yep.
Yeah, that was fun.
That team is a lot of fun to watch. Any of those guys compete.
That's
but
all.
Will's one of my Atlanta jiu-jitsu man crushes, man.
Oh, okay.
I like his game a lot. I like his attitude a lot. I've been doing this for almost 10 years now. Him and Dustin and some of those guys who were at Alliance at the time, but they were always like the one generation just above me. So they were always like, when I was a blue belt, they were crushing it at purple. When I got purple, they were crushing it at brown. So they were always like, it's like when you go through high school and the sophomores that were always above you when you were a freshman.
Right.
And so I've always kind of looked up to them, but also been close enough to rub elbows with them. So it's really neat to see them succeed. Will's awesome. In the gi too. He's really fucking fun to watch.
Yeah, he had some fun stuff. But yeah, the guy that went up against Logan was Sergio.
Yep.
Ardilla.
Yeah, I suck with names, but Sergio, yes.
Something like that. Yep. He was a beast.
Yeah, he was what he was supposed to be. I mean, people knew him to be. I
knew nothing about him, and then when I saw him get in there and move, I was like, oh.
Yep. It's fundamentals too. A lot of fundamentals.
Yeah, nothing super flashy.
Me and Philippe were talking about that contrast that you see sometimes where young new age jiu-jitsu, which is fun to watch, runs into masters of fundamentals.
Yeah.
It sometimes cancels that out. Sometimes it doesn't, right? You can get the new age guys that keep up. And what's even scary is the new age guys that also have a mastery of fundamentals. That's really scary. But there was a match a long time ago. I always throw back to where Quentin, who was kind of the man in Atlanta at the time, kind of what Logan started to become now, went up against Chris Moriarty, who was the old school man, motherfucker, right? And from Alliance, he was an American assassin for Alliance, basically. Was going to school to be a doctor at the time. He was also crushing it in jiu-jitsu and judo at black belt level, and they ended up having a little mini spout on social media. Got matched up at NFC back before they did a jiu-jitsu event. They would sprinkle in jiu-jitsu events in the MMA cards, and Moriarty and him faced each other, and you saw it. Like, yes, Quentin didn't get subbed because he's very savvy,
right?
But fundamentals kind of shut down Quentin's whole game. And that's just, I mean, that's not to say anybody that knows fundamentals can do that. But Moriarty is a master at fundamentals. Like, he doesn't compete anymore. I don't know when the last time he's competed. That might have been the last time. We're talking 5-6 years ago. And he's still considered in high regard when you talk to any other black belts about it. Yeah. That's how dope he is.
Yeah. So. No, it was all in all fun night, fun card.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Those are great events, and it's cool to get that much energy, that much crowd, and have that much fun at a jiu-jitsu event.
Right.
I would have never, ever thought it.
Yeah.
Never. No one would have thought it. That's why this is something new, because most people are like, man, nobody's paying for that shit.
Yeah. What's crazy, too, is it's like nobody, or I don't think particularly for me, like, I saw that coming, but also, like, you can tell, like, the crowds, at least for me when I go to, like, NFC MMA events or whatever, like, it's two completely different crowds, but it's almost cooler to see the jiu-jitsu crowd, because it's not just people yelling at each other like, just stand up, like, do this. Everybody's, like, it's kind of weird because it's like quiet, and then when something happens, everybody like freaks out, and then they go back.
Yeah, it's a. I think it's a higher IQ crowd
for sure.
You know, I know it sounds pompous a little bit, but it just is. That's why it's such a niche audience. It's not MMA is more broad. You can get wrestling, pro wrestling crossovers, and all that as well.
Sure.
And casual fans, whereas Jiu-Jitsu doesn't have casual fans. They have engaged fans that also train.
Yes.
MMA is, with a lot of sports, you have the gap between people that have never played before but they're a fan.
Yeah.
Jiu-Jitsu's, I think that gap is super small. Most of the people that are fans also train.
It would be incredibly hard, I think, to be into watching Jiu-Jitsu and not train.
Yeah. You'd be bored. You wouldn't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
You're just there because you're supporting a family member. And that's a small percentage of crowd that's there, but the majority are people in the know. And it's really neat.
Yeah.
I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, it's always fun every time we go. But
yep, so shouts.
Yeah.
Dave Oblas, Clay, NFC. Motherfuckers killing it. What else on deck? I didn't watch the Jones fight. I didn't watch.
I mean, we kind of did.
I hear, my bootleg kept cutting in and out at the restaurant.
I mean,
but I hear controversy.
The legitimate stream that we watched it on.
Yeah.
It's totally legal.
Like Joe Rogan says, you can't beat the internet, motherfucker. Yeah, so I hear there's controversy about it.
Yeah.
Maybe not, like, a lot of people at least are saying it could have gone either way, but I hear a lot of people saying, like, the judges' scorecards were so ridiculously wrong. Like, some gave them too much.
Yeah, I saw something from Daniel Cormier this morning. He put up something about it, and he talked about how he thought best case should have been like a split decision for Reyes. Like, it was that close, but he was like you could see an argument either side. Like, it just seemed like one of those fights where it was super close, and I think there's going to be a rematch.
Yeah, maybe. But, I mean, you could say that about I feel like you said that about the last 3 Jones fights. You know, it's like, fuck, he's not really putting anybody away anymore.
No. But I don't know, with the exception of maybe, like, DC and a couple others when he first started, like Machida or some of those guys.
Yeah.
He's not, like, a crazy finisher.
No,
he's got some really, really good techniques. But I think even all the way back in his career, like, his best fights, DC, Gustafsson, both just 5-round wars, so he won by decision.
Battles, you're right.
You know? But you're right, like the past, like Santos, Smith, all those, like it looks like he was playing with his food.
Yeah, and playing too long and not like just saying, okay, let's put him away, right?
Right.
I heard that somebody told me that Rogan on the commentary was dogging out one of the judges for not even watching the fight during the fights. Like the judge wasn't even
good for Rogan, man.
So yeah, fuck yeah, calling guys out.
That's that whole thing. Drives
one
me
job,
nuts. But
one
it's like
fucking job.
But and two, it's getting to the point now with guys that like Rogan's been a big advocate for it. But it's like everybody knows that the judges don't know what they're watching.
Yep.
So why has nobody done anything?
Yep. They keep trying to force archaic rules into a new age sport.
Right.
The 10-8 thing comes from, or 10-9 thing comes from boxing.
Yeah.
The judging system, all of it. Why not revolutionize it? You revolutionized how the gloves are in the cage instead of a ring and all these things.
And do we really want to be modeling shit after boxing? Like, boxing's corrupt as fuck. Like, that's the thing, too.
I think they did back in the day because they had no clout. And they
That's
were like,
true.
fuck it, we'll follow your rules as long as you let us fight in your state, right?
That's fair.
Now they have fucking pull, man. So use the pull to say, no, we're changing the commission or we're creating a new commission. You got enough pull. Outside of like some pansy-ass states, you're fighting in most every state anyway.
Yeah.
You don't need to play along just to get in that door anymore. You're in the door. You're solidified in the door. They recognize that you make money for any town you go into.
Yeah. You're telling me Vegas isn't going to be like, no, you can't have your events here anymore.
Right. They've got enough clout.
Yeah.
They can pull strings and get and change. They don't have to keep becoming boxing 2.0. That's what it is. Boxing 2.0.
Yeah, but that's ridiculous. The reffing's gotten better, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of the reffing is not. Notice there's no boxing refs, so why don't we have boxing commission? Like, fuck that. Put your veterans on the commission.
Well, and we're to the point now where it's like there's enough retired pro fighters that would be itching to do that. That would be down to sit there, judge whatever system you give them. It could still be the 10-point must if you want.
Yep.
Right, but at least they're like able to get a better idea of what's happening.
Yeah.
Like every time you hear a story about somebody talking about like, oh, like this judge didn't know what was happening on the ground, and you're like, great.
Yeah, my only thought is, I mean, it's a world that it's lose-lose. I get it for the commission.
It is.
Because if they do that, then the next complaints are all about bias, right? And about, oh, this guy, remember he trained with this guy, and they're making connections. And oh, that's why his his best college mate is also teammates on that guy's. It's like, all right, well, fuck, man. So it's lose-lose. I get it, but it's gotta be. You gotta get at least a little better. You're not gonna get perfect, but let's make it better.
Yeah, but there's got to be some sort of medium. Maybe like make all those judges get a blue belt somewhere.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Or how about this? Make them watch the fucking fight. Like if that's happening, that guy should be getting filmed.
That
like,
should be
this dickhead.
That should be a fucking given, though. It's like this is your
do your job. Yeah.
Like,
do your job is a given.
And that's the other thing too that's stupid is like by not watching this and just writing something down, you're ruining Reyes's career, potentially Jones's career. Like you're fucking with all that.
Yep.
So why do we have
fucking with a lot of money, man?
Yeah. So why do we have this guy that on the biggest fight of these guys' lives, or at least for Reyes? Like why do you have a guy that's not fucking watching the fights?
Yeah, if that's true, that guy should be fired.
For sure. But I'll bet we see him back.
Yeah. Or we don't even know who the fuck he is, right? Yeah. Yeah. So fuck that.
Yeah.
So that was NFC, or that was UFC.
NFC, UFC.
What else? What else we had going on? I guess that was kind of hitting the sports world.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. Didn't watch.
Super Bowl. You didn't?
Nope. Didn't.
I watched it.
I was asleep way before it even probably kicked off.
Yeah. I watched it by myself.
Did you?
Pretty much, yeah.
What'd you think about this whole Shakira J-Lo thing everybody's talking about?
Okay.
I don't know. I haven't watched any of this, so I've only seen the reactions.
So what part about it?
I don't know. People are saying it's too whatever people are bitching about, right? It's
right.
Too sexualized.
It was super sexualized. Like I get that.
My kids and whatever.
It was. To be fair, J-Lo was wearing at one point virtually nothing.
So I need to watch, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
And I will say, like, so basically, like J-Lo at one point had on, it was like this see-through shit pretty much everywhere, except for like right over here and here. It was like one of the V things.
Okay.
But it was like under it. Like I know I'm probably selling you on watching this, right? But
I'm offended already.
There. You're already there.
I'm triggered already.
It was just a lot of like, I don't know, like Shakira was out there too, and she was just like, moving her hips around, like, pelvic thrusting and shit.
Yeah.
Like she does. And then J-Lo was just doing what J-Lo does.
Yeah, it's almost like, what did you expect, right? You saw those names on there.
I will say, though, the best thing I saw on Facebook was somebody put, like, I kept putting ones in front of my TV stand or something. Oh, fuck. Nice. Who was that? Oh, it was great. But, like, it is a little what it felt like. But also, this is something I forgot. This is just a side note. Shakira's almost 45.
Yeah, I saw that.
And J-Lo's 50.
Saw that as well.
So, I think, side note, whatever you think about them being over-sexualized, whatever, props on them at 50 for being able to flip around and
well,
do
here's
that
the thing.
shit.
Who's bitching about it, right? Let's get to the core of this. Who's bitching about it? Men aren't bitching about it. I know that.
Straight men. I'm just kidding.
Say what?
I'm just kidding.
Even gay men,
no,
right?
I'm kidding. But
who's bitching about it? Who do you think bitches about it the most? I have the answer in my head already.
Super conservative, religious types. That's it.
I would take it a step further. Super conservative,
or
moms,
and parents,
women, and this energy feels like it's coming from women more so than men, because men are doing the thing that men do. We're idiots and we're very simple minded. We're like, oh, boobs, butt, like, oh,
right.
Yeah, again, right? Guys do that.
Yeah,
I feel like really a lot of this energy is coming from women. And maybe the super conservative,
okay with that.
Super values voter guy thing, right? However, my issue then becomes this whole movement we've done over the last several decades about this women empowerment movement, right?
Yeah.
Like, be proud of who you are. These women are 40s and 50s.
Right.
And so now we're saying what? They shouldn't be proud of their bodies and whatever and all this stuff.
All I'm saying is if I'm like 45, I want to be able to have the range of motion in my hips that Shakira does. That's all I'm saying, right?
I think Shakira is smoking. I've never been a huge J-Lo fan for some reason. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah, I get it. She's gorgeous, but
yeah.
Not like how I know a lot of men are infatuated with her. And I'm like, man, she's pretty, and that's Shakira.
That surprises me. Yeah.
Yeah, something weird. Anyways,
but yeah, so I really didn't think I watched the whole thing, right? And obviously, like, I rewinded it and watched it again just to make sure I was offended.
Yep. Slow motion.
Zoomed in and out, Downloaded the whole thing actually.
Lock the door.
Play it back. No, but like I think that it was more of like a cultural thing too. So like the whole thing, since it was like in Miami, right? That's why they had J-Lo and Shakira.
Got it.
They had a bunch of other like Hispanic music stars come in. I didn't know who hardly any of them were, but it was fun. It was like, okay, cool. Like here's a little taste of Miami. Like you're here. But like the thing that Shakira and J-Lo was doing, like outside the Super Bowl, if you went to like a regular concert in Miami, I'd assume that it'd be the same.
Yeah, that's their show.
It's their show, and I think it's part of their culture. And then they just displayed it up there, and people were like, what is this?
Think about a lot of South American dances and shit, like the Brazilian carnivals and shit. It's a lot of hips and a lot of shaking. It's us that makes it like, yeah, I mean, why are you, this is again, it's your fucking snowflake, blah, 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 you snowflake liberals, whatever. Why are you so fucking pissed and offended, and why are you so sensitive? Why are you triggered by this? Can't you just be like, it wasn't my type of music. Like, they play, I've seen some dog shit music at halftime shows, and I'm like, it's not for me. I'm not going to rush to be like, worse, blah, 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 I'm offended. And
right, no. And that's the other thing, is like, if you don't like it, turn it off.
Yeah.
Like, don't watch it.
You knew they were booked. We knew it months ahead of time.
Like,
were you surprised? Her biggest hit is that hips don't lie.
Yes. It's literally what both of them do. Why is everybody so surprised that they came together and did what they do?
Can you believe I invited these two dogs over and these motherfuckers, get this, they barked. Like, what? They did what you expect them to do, and that is our cultural.
All women dogs?
No, I'm not. That is our cultural issue, though.
Are you saying their bark's worse than their bite? Are you...
I don't know what level that is.
I don't know.
I'm not saying anything even remotely close to that. What I am saying, though, is...
I just want to take that clip out.
Did you just call them bitches?
Did you just call all women bitches?
But, so, this is our cultural thing. We know we're about to be offended, and we can't wait to be. So them motherfuckers, every single one of them motherfuckers that are bitching about it and making this big deal about it, they didn't change the channel once. No. Because they wanted to be offended. We're excited to be offended and clutch our fucking pearls about shit, because it's like, now it's our turn. Now you've offended me. And it's like, racism? Well, I got your Trump card. Reverse racism. And it's like, shut the fuck up. Right. Like, we're in this race to be the bigger victims or the bigger offended or the bigger whatever. And then there's this, like everything goes in our fucking world, there's always a counterculture thing. So there's another theory that this was all, the complaints are fake complaints by the publicists to create more interest in J-Lo and Shakira. Yeah, because they're just so not popular. I'm sure they're not selling anything. Like, they needed that.
J-Lo only has a couple 100 million followers on Instagram.
Their careers are struggling. Come on. Like, no, these are fucking bent, out of shape. Not physically out of shape, but emotionally out of shape.
I mean, they could be physically
that as well. Like bitter fucking people that saw the others doing that thing, and it's the same people that bitched about what's her name, Janet Jackson, showed the titty. Shut the fuck up. You're afraid of what? Were they simulating? Was she humping someone? Were they actually simulating sex, or were they just being sexual? Because those are two different things.
On stage,
they fucked.
Yep.
You full of shit. I saw like J-Lo on a pole or something like that.
So that was.
But your mom can go take a strip pole aerobics, and J-Lo can't do that. What are we differencing? Like, why are we offended so easily?
I don't know. I'd honestly probably be more offended at mom like getting on the pole than J-Lo. Yeah. Because I don't fucking know J-Lo. Like, she's a 50-year-old grown ass woman. Like, do what you want to do. Yeah. But like, I think that was the part where most people had a problem with.
Because like, it was so directly connected to stripping.
Literally like, boom, here we go. But I'll put this out there. I'd like to see any other 50-year-old man, woman, whatever, try to do what J-Lo did on that pole.
It's hating at its finest, man. Like, and we disguise it with offended and whatever. You're hating. You're fucking just hating. Shut the fuck up. You don't like it, change it. I didn't like when they had, I'm not a huge Tom Petty fan. I'm not a huge fan of like, what was the guy they had last year? Adam Levine or whatever? It
was all right.
I'm not a huge fan of all that stuff, so I'll be like, cool, I'll go get snacks while they're playing. Yeah. I'm not that interested. I'm not fucking watching and like, oh, look at all his tattoos. He's just flexing his muscles. I bet he's on steroids. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
I was dialed into that show.
Yeah, your pants were down. I know. I couldn't go anywhere. I would have tripped over my pants around my ankles. But it's just it bugs me because if you get out of the bitter bickering, you just fly above it and you be like, oh, it's your turn to be offended now. We get it. It's the same song and dance, and then it's going to be your turn to be offended next.
Yeah. And I get the argument too of like, I think like you were saying, a lot of like the women or like the moms saying it's like, this is what, you know, you're teaching our daughters to look up to. It's like, I get that. I'm not advocating anybody's daughters, you know, start running around on poles, right? But it's definitely a thing, you know, where what was I gonna say? Damn it! I just lost my train of thought.
While you gather it, I don't get it. Your daughters shouldn't be looking up to anyone. That's Charles Barkley said that back in the day. I'm not your kid's role model. Well, you should like be a fucking parent. What, you relying on halftime shows to raise your kids?
Right.
Fuck you. Right? Be a parent.
That was basically what I was gonna say.
Good.
So,
yeah.
There you go. Along those lines.
I'll be Tyler's angry interpreter. He's like, please, parent your children. Hey, fuck off, parents. Be a parent to your goddamn kid. Stop relying on someone else. And this is real, too. This is a real PSA,
Keep your
in my
kids
opinion.
off the pole.
Stop relying on your fucking teacher or their friends or TV or fucking the halftime shows or music or any fucking body else to be your kid's role model, to set the example for life. And fuck you. There's drugs and terrible shit all around the world. Are you trying to fucking dodge raindrops to let outside influences guide them? Or you want to just roll your fucking sleeves up and do your job as a parent? Get away from your own phone, get away from your own problems, and pause for a second and help them interpret what the fuck's going on out there. And that's so much easier.
You're missing an opportunity to make a lot of money.
How?
I was about to say, you know, getting your kids, like, they could have a career.
Stripping?
Maybe. It's a profession.
So parents encourage that. Is this what
No, I'm not saying encourage it. Do all the stuff he said, but also remind your kids that when all else fails, there's a legitimate career side for you. And J-Lo, I think, has showed us that.
It can help her get through veterinarian school or something. I think that's what they all say, right?
It pays the bills.
They're going through nursing school.
It pays the bills.
So just to be clear, our messages are not married to each other. Tyler Trump does not speak for me. The views and what do they always say? The thing, the views and explanations by the on the show is not representative of the channel or whatever.
Yeah, we should probably get that.